At the end of the day, when the guys look around the room at one another, do you say we did all we could, or is there still some left on the table, you feel?
Well, everyone's obviously real frustrated. You know, this, once again, isn't the way you want to end the year at this time of year, and year-end meetings come a little bit earlier than obviously you'd like. So everyone's frustrated. It's a tough end of the year, and you know, obviously it's hard to point a finger on exactly where it went wrong or where we got derailed, but everyone's pretty frustrated, and it's definitely not a good feeling with all the guys right now.
There's some uncertainty in terms of who's coming back for next year?
Well, I mean, like every offseason, there's obviously going to be changes. You know, how many changes obviously remains to be seen, but as players, I think pretty much everyone expects to be back here. That's kind of the way you got to approach the summer, and we'll see what happens. Obviously, that's more of a question I guess you'd have to ask the management.
What do you think about the direction of where the management is taking this team?
I don't know. I mean, that's a question you have to ask him, ask them. You know, we're not in there discussing what goes on about different players. We just go out there and try to focus on our own play.
What do you take away from this? What did you learn from this year and all that you've been through?
Well, I mean, you definitely can't go through those big lulls, and you got to be consistent throughout the whole season. You know, we showed at times that we could be you know, a top team in the league and have some success, and other times you know, you'd lose a couple games in a row and it just kind of snowball, and you got to find a way to avoid those big slumps, and you know, you can't have those off months, or you know, you can afford to lose a couple in a row. Every team does. Every team's not perfect, but you know, we seem to go in droughts where the past couple of years we've had you know, tough months, and it's tough to recover from things like that.
Luke, of all the years you've been here, is this the toughest one? Is this the worst feeling of the exit meetings?
Yeah, I mean, none of them are good, but this one, just because you know, we were sitting pretty good at All-Star break, and coming out, we were had our eye on a playoff push, and we all expected to be there, and you know, to be sitting here talking about where everything went wrong and how it all failed is obviously you know, it's hard to comprehend right now. Obviously, I haven't had a lot of time to think about it, but it's not a good feeling just because we were in such a good spot, and I think, like everyone's talked about, whether it's media, fans, or ourselves, no one's ever kind of seen anything, you know, kind of a free fall like this. So it's frustrating for everyone, and you know, it's not a good feeling.
Who are you picking to win the Stanley Cup?
I don't know. I haven't really thought anything about the playoffs.
Yeah. A year ago, you guys had a great end of the season, so you could sell hope to the fans. This year, it wasn't a good end of the season. What would you say to the fans now about this club?
Well, I mean, you know, there's obviously some still real good pieces in place, and some good young talent here, and you know, we feel bad for the fans too. I mean, it's frustrating. There's so much hope there, and the city was buzzing for a while, and the fans were excited, and just you know, you obviously feel like you let them down every year. You don't make the playoffs, you let your fans down, but this year more so in particular, just you know, for 3/4 of the year we're doing pretty good, and you know, the past month and a bit has been real tough, and it's frustrating for us, frustrating for the fans, and you know, you definitely feel you know, the frustration around the city.
Luke, the favorite expression for Leaf fans is maybe next year. What does next year bring?
I don't know. I mean, we're a couple days after, you know, the season right now, so it's tough to think about. You know, you don't know what the lineup's going to be looking like next year, but you know, I guess that's something that you got all off season to think about and come back prepared. Do
you want to be here?
Of course, yeah. I mean, you obviously want to be a part of the solution and be a piece of the puzzle going forward. So I haven't been in playoffs yet in Toronto, and you know, it's obviously real frustrating, but I couldn't imagine a better feeling than making it and being a part of a successful team here.
Have you been asked about the Worlds at all?
No, not yet.
The frustrating thing was, Brooke said that you didn't have to answer for 1967 when the Stanley Cup trip, but that's been 4 years for yourself and haven't made the playoffs, and just that culture is starting to develop again. Just not being good enough to be the playoff team.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's frustrating that the first couple of years, you know, you're kind of learning the ropes a little bit, and you know, you're a young player just trying to, you know, make a way for yourself and stay in the league and show that you belong. But after going forward, you get that little bit of experience. You know, you think you can be a key part to help the team get in the playoffs, and you know, it's tough watching the playoffs every year, that's for sure. I mean, 4 years in a row and having no playoff experience, it's obviously not a good feeling going into the summer, you know, going back and having to listen and watch the playoffs every day and not getting that chance to be a part of it when you see, you know, teams that you play all year and you do have some success against, they're having good playoff pushes.
Luke, is it tough to play in Toronto? The media, is it really that tough on players?
I think there's different personalities and different guys handle it differently, I guess, than some others. Some guys maybe, you know, feel it a little bit more than some guys, but, you know, you're going to be asked questions pretty much on a daily basis, whether it's after pregame skate or practice. And sometimes when things get tough, it's, you know, can maybe add to a little bit, but I think at the end of it, it makes you stronger mentally a little bit. And like I said, every player's got a different personality, and guys handle it different and handle the media different and the fans. But, you know, I'm used to it, and there's nowhere else you'd rather be a part of. And it's just cool to see, you know, how much people care, whether it's media, fans, or you know, everyone outside of it.
Any chance you get down to Philly, you know?
I don't know. We'll see how deep they go. Not in the first round. If they, you know, hopefully they get past the first round. But obviously, it's a tough series for them.
Luke, Brian described the last sort of 2 months as an 18-wheeler going off a cliff. What did it feel like in the room as it sort of snowballed for those last 2 months?
I mean, every day, you know, every game, going into a game, we thought, you know, we always talked about being the biggest game and had a chance to turn things around and get back on track. And a lot of it, I mean, even when we did fall out of a playoff position, there's still always time to turn things around and kind of battle to the end. But, you know, for whatever reason, just couldn't get back on track, and the losses kept piling off, and you see your team keep sliding down in the standings. So it wasn't a good feeling every day coming to the rink, seeing that, and everyone is frustrated with you know, their personal play and obviously the team play. More importantly, it was frustrating. And you ask guys, and guys obviously talk amongst themselves, whether it's a guy playing college hockey or junior hockey, no one's ever really been a part of you know, a collapse like that. So it's frustrating, and guys obviously, you know, we're trying to figure it out and find out different ways to handle it.
Do you guys need more veteran leadership in this locker room? What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, that's more of a question I guess you'd have to ask the management than me personally.
Hey, Luke, how much did Reimer's injury in October set you guys back as a team, you think?
You know, he obviously had a real good start to the season, kind of picked up where he left off last year, and you know, obviously had a couple tough injuries this year. But in saying that, I don't think, you know, coming back, obviously, it's probably tough coming back for a goalie to get that timing back. But I think the Monster played great when he was out that whole time, and we were still getting some wins, and Monster was winning some games, you know, by himself for us too. So earlier on, you know, obviously Rhymes had some tough injury problems, but I think Monster did a good job.